Hello, friend, and welcome back to Trivia Frozen in Time. This is Jeopardy 1987 for MS-DOS. It's the first edition. We're going to play one more game in this recording session. I'm going to try to extend my championship, which now totals $239,299 in fictitious digital money, like crypto, right? And we'll be going up today against Jody, and we'll go up against Dan. Get ready to play Jeopardy, friends. Play along with me at home. Remember, I have to buzz in as soon as I can because otherwise the computer buzzes in as soon as it can. And I know that makes reading the clues a little frustrating, but we'll do the best that we can. All right? The clues for our first round here include South America, or the categories for this first round, rather. South America, winter sports, theater, three-letter names, in the garden, and what's new. I like these categories, although theater I don't know a lot about. Let's start with winter sports. It's a cold snap when I'm recording this one today. So here we go. Country which hosted the 1984 Winter Olympics. Country which hosted the 1984 Winter Olympics was the United States. No. They hosted the Summer Olympics, but apparently we didn't host the Winter Olympics. Country which hosted the 1984 Winter Olympics. Yugoslavia. I did not know that. I forgot that they had hosted an Olympics. Of course, Yugoslavia, by the way. This game was produced in 1987. Obviously, things have changed since then. Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore. It's now, about 6 different countries now that it's split up into. Winter sports for 200. This country invented roller skating as a warm weather substitute for Hans Brinker's sport. That clue didn't roll off the tongue at all. What is Holland? Rollers. They invented roller skating. Holland or the Netherlands. In the garden. To the beach. To the garden. Turkish for turban. These flowers originated in Asia, not Holland. What are tulips? Tulips, of course, there's a whole big tulip trade in Holland. Let's go back to winter sports. I'll try it again. $300. This ski course is defined by pairs of gates, flags through which contestants ski. What is a slalom course? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm recording this the week that really much of the United States is going through a big cold snap. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. Unless you're watching this in July, then I hope you stay cool. Winter sports for 4. Olympic sledding event in which participants travel feet forward on their backs. What is the luge? As opposed to the skeleton, which I think is the same thing, but they're going head first, which is insane. Winter sports for $500. Champion trophy of the NHL, the National Hockey League. What is the Stanley Cup? Not to be confused with the Stanley mug fad that apparently is going on right now that I've heard like 6 different references to in the last 4 days. 3-letter names, please, for 100. The name for an unopened flower, got in before I did, or half of Abbott and Costello. Yeah, Bud. Hey there, Rabbit. I don't know which one was Bud, though. In the garden. Speaking of buds, for 500. When the sides of its blossoms are pressed, 2 of its lips open like jaws. What are snapdragons? Okay. Dan with $600 now. In the garden. $400. The answer is the golden poppy is the official state flower of this, the Golden State. What is California? There you go. Get you up to 1,800 now. 3-letter names again for 200. After blue, it's a bird. Before walk, it's a pedestrian violation. What is J? as in Jay Leno. Hey, it's Monday night. Time for headlines. That's my Jay Leno impersonation. Isn't it awful? 3-letter names for 300. Yeah, Monday night. The visible part of an iceberg or House Speaker O'Neill. What is Tip? Tip of the iceberg and Tip O'Neill, who was Speaker of the House, I think, in the 80s. 3-letter names for $400. This girl's name could be a clinging vine. Oh, Dan got in again. Clinging vine or a poisonous plant. That, of course, is ivy. Back to Dan, which is also a 3-letter name, but we go to theater instead, and we go for the big 500. City whose Broadway is called the West End. That's London. Yeah, London's Broadway is called the West End. That's about all I know about the West End, too. 3-letter names for $500. Latin for king, Latin for king, it comes before Reed and after Oedipus. What is Rex? Rex Reed, Oedipus Rex. And we're up to $3,300 now. South America for $100. This river is second in length only to the Nile. What is the Amazon? Of course. All right. South America for 200. 4,500 mile long mountain range that spans the western side of the continent. What are the Andes Mountains? Let's keep going with South America for 300. Pele played for this country's Santos soccer team. I assume it's Brazil. Yeah. Pele, the big soccer star of the 70s. South America for 400. The westernmost country on the South American continent. It's one of two. I'm going to say, what is Ecuador? Nope, picked the wrong one. It must be Peru then. Peru must be westernmost. Dan, with 1,000, he's going to lose 400 on this. There aren't that many countries in South America. I think it's only something like 13 altogether. So, is it Colombia? It's Colombia or Peru. I'm going to go with Peru as my second guess. It was Peru, or Peru, as they say in Spanish. South America for 5, please. Everyone lost money on that. He was the president of Argentina from 1946 to 1955. Do we dare say it's Perón? That seems too early. You know, Evita Perón, and whatever her husband's name was. I think they were later, but let's see. No, I was wrong. Juan Perón was the correct answer. That's where we get the movie and the musical Evita. Don't cry for me, Argentina. You know, what's new for $200? Capital of India or a place to buy very fresh chopped liver? Terrible pun. What is a New Delhi? Yeah, New Delhi. So what's new? What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's keep going. What's new for 100? In the proverb, this sweeps clean. I'm going to guess. What is a new broom sweeps clean? Makes sense to me. What's new for 300? Cover boy of Mad Magazine, which they don't print anymore, although I think they still have an online presence. Who is Alfred E. Newman? What? Me? Worry? Apparently that was a joke in the 60s. Mad Magazine. What's new for 400? Bob Eubanks took delight in causing marital spats on this TV show. What is the Newlywed Game? Yeah, he was the most famous of the hosts, but they've revived that show several times over the decades. What's new for 500? A sauce of cream, sherry, butter, and egg yolk, often served over lobster. I'll try it. What is Newberry? No. Lobster. It's called like lobster Newberry or lobster Newburg or something. Newburg is what they wanted, not Newberry. Lobster Newburg. That and I did give a wrong answer. I'm not going to blame the judges on that one. I was wrong. In the Garden for $200. The sled in the movie Citizen Kane. I think we had this in the previous game. What is Rosebud? Rosebud. We should start doing this as an ASMR broadcast. I'll take In the Garden for $100, Alex. The answer is Easter, water, and tiger. What are lilies? That's the correct question. Theater for 100. Theater! Lincoln was assassinated while watching Our American Cousin at this theater. I've visited there, Ford Theater. It is a surprisingly small theater, but yeah, very trippy to be there. Visit there. Theater for $200. The Adventures of a Swindling Trombone Salesman named Harold Hill. Trombone salesman. What is the Music Man? I had no idea what the plot is of that. Theater. Acting for 400. Dustin Hoffman returned to Broadway in this Arthur Miller tragedy. I'll take a guess. What is Death of a Salesman? That's the right one. It's a good play. Sad play, tragic play, but relevant today as it was in the 50s. Theater for 300. Brando rose to fame shouting her name in A Streetcar Named Desire. Who is Stella? Stella! And we're up to $5,000 even. Dan in second, whoever Linda or whoever is in third. She'll go first in Double Jeopardy, but first I will catch my breath because I've done a lot of talking. All right, get settled here. Double Jeopardy, 2 daily doubles as long as I pick them. Otherwise, they kind of disappear into the ether because that's the way that the game was programmed. 6 new categories, and I got to read them off quick. Here we go. 20th century women writers, transportation starts with L, games, and whether or not. Note the spelling. He invented the railway sleeping coach. That was Pullman. Who was George M. Pullman, the famous Pullman coach? For whatever reason, we don't have Pullman coaches today because we don't do trains very well here in the United States. Women writers for 4. Sorry, I had a little burp there. This 1966 Jacqueline Suzanne novel has sold over 20 million copies. What is Valley of the Dolls? And then they made a terrible movie about that, and then Roger Ebert wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, which is an even trippier movie. Weather for 1,000, 66 Beatles song bids this good day. What is Sunshine? Okay, I don't know if I read the clue right, but Dan gets another 1,000. We go to women writers again. $600. The answer is Margaret Mitchell's only novel that won a Pulitzer Prize in 1937. What is Gone with the Wind? Yeah, her only novel and made a ton of money before World War II. Games. I like the sound of that. Games for 200. Anyone around my base is this. I have no idea. Is it. Anyone around my base is it. Okay. A tag reference? I don't know. $200, women writers. Humorist Irma Bombeck writes about this as the second oldest profession. Well, the oldest profession is not family friendly. The second oldest profession, I'm going to say, what is a housewife? Okay. Or just wife, maybe. I don't know. Irma Bombeck. That's kind of, I think that's kind of the humor she had. Was before Roseanne was the, domestic housewife or whatever. Motherhood is the second oldest profession. Yeah, housewife is different. It was in the right area, I guess. The proper side from which to mount a horse. What is the left? No jokes out of the peanut gallery, friends. Now you know you mount the horse from the left. Games for 6. This game has 225 spaces for tiles. What is Scrabble? Because it uses a 15 by 15 board, which is 225. Love the game of Scrabble. Games for 400. Loser of this game is one holding the odd queen. What is Old Maid? No. It's the matching game. Try not to get stuck with the Old Maid. Women Writers for $800. Kathleen Turner plays a popular woman writer in this hit comedy adventure film. Oh, Lord, I wouldn't even know where. I don't know many Kathleen Turner movies. And a hit comedy adventure film? I don't know what that would be. Clearly, this is a reference to something in the 80s that probably has long faded away. What is Romancing the Stone? I have heard of that title. I had no idea that's what it was about. Let's go back to transportation for $200. The top of the board, it's the president's personal plane. What is Air Force One? Games again for $800. Of bishop, knight, I'm just going to play it. Because it's a chess question. Bishop, knight, and castle. The chess piece also called the rook. What is the castle? It's kind of a silly question because nobody in chess, I'm not a chess expert, but nobody calls it the castle. It's called the rook. Castling is something altogether different in chess. Games for 1,000. In French Monopoly, this expensive property is Rue de la Paix. In Britain, it's Mayfair. What is Boardwalk? It's the most expensive property on a Monopoly board in the U.S. Boardwalk. $400. It's a steal at today's prices. Starts with L for 200. Lobsters have 8 and insects have 6. What are legs? Straightforward enough. Hope you're having a good day out there. Thanks for joining me here in Double Jeopardy. Starts with L for 400. Hope you're playing along. Hope you're doing well. In the Proverbs, he who does this last does it best. He who laughs. He who does this last. What is laughs? He who laughs last laughs best. Starts with L for $600. The answer here is the name of Harvard's humor magazine. It means satirical parody. What is the name? What is Lampoon? Yeah. And then when they went national, it became National Lampoon. Starts with L for 800. It's slang for a British sailor. A British sailor. What is a limey? All right. We're going back to weather for $400. The answer here is, in song, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. Or April showers. Wait, what now? They bring the flowers. Or Oh, okay, yeah. What are April showers? Getting close to the $10,000 mark. I've had a good run on the recording session today. It's been really, really good. Starts with L for 1,000. This isn't an intermediate or transitional place or state, a middle ground. Oh, yes, limbo. To be in limbo. Jody's on the plus side now with $800. Dan, 3,400. I've got close to 10. Women writers for 1,000. Another big clue. This historian wrote The Guns of August, A Distant Mirror, and The March of Folly. Jody. Who is Barbara Tuchman? I'm going to say it's pronounced Tuchman. $1,800 now. We go to whether or not. We've got, it looks like 10 clues left. Whether or not for 6. Chicago nickname. What is the Windy City? And it is windy. I've been there a couple of times, and it was windy when I was there. Whether or not for 200. To Lerner and Low, it stayed mainly in the plain. What are the rains in Spain? To Lerner and Low, who are songwriters, it stayed mainly in the plain. What is the rain in Spain? Yeah, the rain in Spain falls mainly in the plain. $10,400 now. Whether or not for 8. Of snow, rain, heat, and slush, the one that's not part of the post office motto. Neither rain nor sleet, no. The one not part of the neither rain nor it's slush. I don't think it's slush. Yeah, I picked the right one. I don't remember heat being in there either, but maybe I don't remember the whole motto. Transportation for 6. Answer here. Japan built this 8.2-mile system for use during the 1964 Olympic Games there. And that was the monorail. Monorail, 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 monorail. Those who rally to a successful cause are said to jump on this. What is the bandwagon? All right, one more category to go. It's a full category. It's all about the 20th century, at least up to 1987. $200, please. 21-year-old Memphis truck driver who became the king of rock and roll. It was Elvis Presley, of course. King of rock and roll. All right, what value this time? Going for 400. Boston defeated Pittsburgh in the first of its championships. Boston defeated Pittsburgh in the first of these sports championships in 1903. What is the World Series? Oh. And then they skipped the next one in 1904, and then they've played it 1905, and they played it ever since, except for the strike-shortened season in 1994, which happened after this game was produced. For $600 in 1928, he promised Americans 2 chickens in every pot. Who was Herbert Hoover? Yeah, that's the right one. Eventually became president. Didn't work out so well because of the Great Depression. 20th century for $800. Kate Smith first sang this Irving Berlin song on Armistice Day of 1938. It was God Bless America. I've been playing it at New York Yankees games since 2001. 20th century for 1,000. And it's the last clue, and it's the daily double. And I can make this a $27,600 game going into Final Jeopardy. I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's go $1,200. Developed by DuPont Labs, this synthetic fiber was first called Polymer 66. Synthetic fiber. Trying to think of This nylon is artificial, right? Oh, that's right. I got it. I could have made it $27,600, but we have $15,000, which is an $11,800 lead. Let's go to Final Jeopardy now. All right, here we go. The category, American Statesman. I'm going to wager $5,000. Not terribly confident, but I think I can do okay. For $20,000, here's the Final Jeopardy answer. His face is pictured on the nickel and the $2 bill. I'll pause to let you think about this before I type it in. His face is pictured on the nickel and the $2 bill. It was Thomas Jefferson. Boy, to think if I had, 27,000, I could have doubled it to like $57,000, $58,000 in this game. My goodness. Thomas Jefferson was the answer. He still remains on the nickel and on the $2 bill. $20,000 in this game. I think we had $25,000 in the previous game. My word, we had a good four-game run here in this recording session. Altogether, it adds up to $259,299 in fake money. And I think we've got a few more games to play, but it'll have to wait for another time. This is Scotty Euclid thanking you for joining me on this adventure here on Jeopardy 1987 for MS-DOS. We hope you come back again soon. Do all those fun things you can do on YouTube. You can even write a comment telling me how I screwed up one of those questions and perhaps telling me some fun facts about some of the questions I didn't know. Once again, this is Scotty Euclid saying thanks for watching and bye-bye.